because their nature is that. But this big bad wolf thing, you only got 1% of them who understand who and what the fuck they are, and they take advantage to the fullest. But they're giving that way through black people. It's hard for us to accept this. But logically, if you think about it, it makes the most sense. We hear all of this stuff, Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben, that shows us how we rule every corner of the planet. We accept that. We were here, the first one is blacks in Asia and blacks in this. Then all of a sudden, whites is just, they trade some sugar, a few niggas, and all of a sudden they got this. Don't add up. It don't add up unless somebody was training them. We found out the Moors were training them. Could it be archons? And now I know y'all hate to hear shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And not saying none of these modern day Moors are archons. Clearly those are niggas. You know what I'm saying? It could be within the banner of the Moors. Archons snuck in. You understand what I'm saying? And we just argue all the time between niggas anyway. So we just think it's business as usual. Muslims argue with Muslims. Ask Malcolm X. I'm sure Noble Drew Ali can tell you stories about, here we go. You know what I'm saying? The El Rookins, would Noble Drew Ali approve that? Who knows? Maybe yes, maybe no. Would the Moors today approve what Fort was doing and the El Rookins within the Moors? You get what I'm saying? There's always a nigga argument, which means a group of niggas can sneak in into a certain thing that niggas are doing and infiltrate. Let me give y'all some of this. Close out. I wanted to make this real short. All right. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. What are they saying here? Let me just read this bottom part. I know they were going on. Because the Gnostics of the 2nd and 3rd centuries regarded the material world as outright evil or as a product of error. You understand what I'm saying? This place is either very evil or very incompetent by this creator. So if you're praising the creator, why would he make such a creation and lay you in it? It's either very evil or just incompetent at its very best. Archons were viewed as maleficent forces. They're not your friends. They're numbered 7 and 12 and are identified with the 7 planets of iniquity or the signs of the zodiac. I told you before, zodiacs are not your friends, niggas. All you 7th house and Mercury and retrograde ass niggas, you were to study that to understand your prison system, not to celebrate it. If Tauruses can't get with Leo, that's control. I should be able to do whatever I want. That's the idea of the Christ, the Christios. The Christ represents the number 13, which is the number of freedom, the middle point, the Son, or Jesus. He has 12 disciples. Those represent archons, which you are to discipline. Disciples. The concept is there and it's simple. You got to understand there's a Gnostic Jesus that talks about this energy in all of us, not just a man or an individual. That's bullshit. That's malarkey. Once they made it a man or an individual, all they had to do is make it a white man. And now you think it's him. Or even if you say, well, no, it was actually a black man doing this, it becomes an argument against white men and white people. Just to say Jesus was a black man becomes an argument against white people indirectly. Therefore, still gives them the power of opposite of you. which means you think they're your enemy, even by saying Jesus is black. Don't be a foolish mule. You have to get past all of that shit. It ain't got nothing to do with color. It's a Christos concept that dwells within you. It's not a man. It's the man or the woman who's conscious, who vibrates on the number 13 frequency to understand the concept of the creator and his archonic force that has you locked down here. There's an archon energy that comes through these empty ass counterfeit spirit niggas. Some Gnostic thinkers, such as Valentinus, developed mythologies inspired by the Christian idea of salvation through the incarnated Christ. So those ideas of salvation through the incarnated Christ is exactly what I was telling you about, the true Christos mystery. In these narratives, the demiurge and the archons were Hebrew names. The reoccurring image of archons is that the jailers imprisoning the divine spark in human souls held captive in material creation. This is in the Encyclopedia Britannica. This is not like you have to dig deep, foolish mules. Listen